All right, coming in at number 5, we got Ubisoft's Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs is every computer nerd's fantasy. I know it got me excited. And for anybody that doesn't know, Watch Dogs revolves around Aiden. I might not even be saying his name right. Aiden Pierce, who can hack about anything. This guy is a total boss. He makes Anonymous looks like 3-year-olds. Aiden is kind of like a vigilante who hacks into networks to carry out his own form of justice. Apparently, he doesn't think that our form of justice, our justice system, isn't doing a good job. So he goes out and he carries out his own form of justice. Now, this game is number 5 because in Ubisoft's track record, I mean, replay value is a big part when I vote for games, and Ubisoft has a horrible track record with replay value. Look at Assassin's Creed 3, Far Cry 3, Assassin's Creed 2, all the Assassin's Creeds actually, matter of fact, they have a horrible track record for replay value. And for anybody that doesn't know what replay value is when you beat a game, when you beat the storyline, can you continue on playing? And multiplayer is different because multiplayer doesn't revolve around the story. So this is completely different. I'm talking about in the actual single player campaign. When you beat the story mode, can you continue playing the game? Pretty much. Can you continue exploring? Can you find new things? Perfect example for this is Skyrim. Skyrim has an okay main storyline, but they have a massive amount of side quests along with tons of DLCs. Which comes from even more side quests and quests, and I mean, Skyrim is like the definition of replay value. They are what you want a game to be when it comes to replay value. Now, with that being said, it kind of scored kind of low because of the replay value. I mean, other than that, everything else is on spot. I give it an 8 on gameplay. Again, it reminds me. The reason I gave it an 8 on gameplay is because it reminds me so much of GTA, just without the drugs, the girls, the sex, and the gangs. I mean, it's pretty much just another GTA, but instead of dealing with drugs and stuff like that, you're hacking into networks and so on and so forth. Presentation, I gave it a 10. Presentation is amazing. It looks incredible. The game looks like a next-gen game. It doesn't look like a PS3 game or a PS2 game or whatever. It actually looks like a PS4, Xbox One next-gen console game. It definitely deserves the 10 points that I gave it. 8 again for concept because it reminded me so much of Assassin's Creed. And Thief 2. Thief is another one of those games that reminds me so much of Assassin's Creed. It's and I mean, I understand that Ubisoft made it, so I understand why they made it like that. But I mean, come on, you guys made The Crew, and that's not an Assassin's Creed kind of rip off. So I mean, why can you do the same thing with this one? So it got an 8 off me personally. I gave it an 8 for concept because I feel, I mean, the storyline's original, but the feel so much like Assassin's Creed. It's crazy. And then again, a 3 for replay value because it doesn't really. I don't think it's gonna have replay value just because of Ubisoft's track record. With that being said, it's an open world game. You never know what could happen. I mean, they could be side quests, it could be whatever. There's not enough information for me to put that out there. So it's kind of like a pre-release kind of review from me, I guess. This is just kind of what I expect is gonna happen. Now, in total, they scored 29 out of 40 points. I mean, they could have done better. Again, if they put in more side quests, and it's kind of stray away from the Assassin's Creed game style, they could definitely be a top contender for game of the year. But in my books, I mean, I gave a number 5 of the top 5 out of the games that were released this year. 29 out of 40 seems reasonable. And with that being said, let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is Bungie's Destiny, an MMO first-person shooter. Now, given MMO's first-person shooters' track record with titles such as Borderlands, Mass Effect, and etc., I really didn't have high expectations coming in. Now, the plot for Destiny is basically a war between the humans and the aliens, where this interstellar machine called the Traveler is hovering over the last remaining human city, assisting the Guardians in the last defense of the human race. Now, Bungie is known for its complicated and unique concepts for their video games, and they did not fail to do the same here. This storyline alone has me at the edge of my seat the entire time. This is probably one of the most unique and one of the most interesting storylines that has probably came out this year alone. Now, with that being said, I gave Destiny a 7 for gameplay because first-person shooters and MMO never really mixed before. And with that being said, I really can't expect much from the genre. I gave it an 8 for presentation. Presentation wasn't perfect, but it was very unique and it really caught my eye. And for an MMO, it had great graphics. Coming from somebody that's seen people play MMOs such as WoW and League of Legends, this is a step up. Again, I gave it a perfect 10 for concept, being it's so original and so breathtaking, and Bungie never really seems to disappoint. Now, I gave it a 5 for replay value since it really didn't catch any sense of any replay value at all. It kind of seemed like it was very story driven. Yes, it had side quests, but so did Far Cry 3. And we all seen how that went. So I had to give it a 5 for replay value because Bungie is really not the type to focus on replay value. Given titles with Halo and so on and so forth, they're going to be more focused on the multiplayer and the story itself. And it's not a bad thing. It's just when I rate games, I usually tend to rate the replay value because that's a pretty important, that's a pretty important topic to me. Now with all that being said, it got a 30 out of 40, which is not bad, but it put it at number 4. Now let's move on to number 3. At number 3, we got Titanfall. Now, I'm not big on first-person shooters, and I'm even less interested in mechs. But something about the combination of the two really got me interested, and really caught my eye. After hearing the reviews and a whole bunch of reviews about how it's Call of Duty with mechs, it's Call of Duty, it's by the same people, Call of Duty. I had to take a look by myself, see what it was about. And then I was 5 minutes into the multiplayer gameplay, and I was hooked. It was amazing. It was ecstatic. There was a lot of explosion. There was a lot of gunshots. There was a lot of action. It was everything that you would expect from a first-person shooter game. And Titanfall is one of those games that is just balls to the walls all the time. Every single moment that you're playing the game, it's just balls to the walls. The reason I probably like the game so much is because it reminds me of the Gundam series. Growing up as a kid, I used to watch a lot of Gundam. But this is like what Gundam should have been. It's not robot on robot. It's robot versus human versus robot versus human versus it's an actual combination of the two. So it's not just human utilizing the robot. It's a robot utilizing the human and vice versa. Now, with all that being said, I gave it an 8 for gameplay. I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters, so I'm not expecting a lot. It's not gonna be one of those games that I'm gonna be hooked on. But for presentations, I also gave it another 8 because it reminded me so much of 360 games, and it's kind of disappointing knowing that it's a next-gen console release, and it still looks like it's an Xbox 360 game. I understand they must have put a lot of graphics and a lot of 3D models and meshes and stuff like that, and the polygon count must have been really high. But that's no excuse for the graphics that I had. We're in this day and age where 2013, we should have better graphics than that. Now, concept, I gave it a perfect score. I gave it a 10. Even though like I said, it reminds me a lot about Gundam. This is like what Gundam should have been again. This is what Gundam should have been. It's the gameplay is kind of like Armored Core, but it uses humans more than just people who drive the mechs, and that implementation is really what set it apart from all the rest. That's why I gave it a 10 out of 10 for concept. The concept was real great. It was amazing. I love the idea. It was a perfect idea. It's a great idea. Now the replay value, I put it at a 4 because anybody that's associated with Call of Duty is synonymous with just having a single player campaign and then a massive multiplayer. That's usually how all their games are. That's usually how it goes down. That should be pretty self-explanatory for anybody that plays Call of Duty. They should know what I mean when I say that. So in total, overall, it got a 30 out of 40. It's not bad, but it wasn't good enough to top our top 5. It came in at number 3, and now we'll move on to number 2.
I don't know if there's any honor left on the frontier. I don't know if there ever was. I just know I'm gonna make them pay.
Thank God for Metal Gear Solid 5, man. This game is what I wanted from the Metal Gear Solid series since day one. Metal Gear Solid is bringing open world, it's bringing vehicle, it's bringing dynamic weather, real-time implementation. I mean, it's the whole kit and caboodle, bro. The day Metal Gear Solid was announced, my mind was officially blown. We're talking blood diamonds, we're talking child soldiers, we're talking terrorism, torture, brutality, man. This game almost gave me a hard on. This game had little to no flaws whatsoever. It scored very, very high on my list. Thus, it's number 2 on the list. Because it's Metal Gear Solid in open world. If any game is close to being Skyrim with guns, this is it. This is the game right here. Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Ghost, I think it is the game that's going to be remotely close to Skyrim with guns. And you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Just saying. Now, this game scored a 10 in gameplay. All Metal Gear Solid games. I mean, I still remember playing the first Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid is known. It's world renowned for its gameplay. And they did not do anything different with this one. This gameplay looks amazing. It looks incredible. It scored a 10. It's 10 out of 10. That's it. I can't go into any more detail. It's Metal Gear Solid. In presentation, oh my god, it scored a 10 out of 10. The graphics on this game are amazing. It looks like a next gen console game. It's one of the few games out there that does look like a next gen console game. It looks amazing. You can barely distinguish the difference between a cutscene and in-game gameplay. It's amazing. I'm telling you, this game, man, this game right here is amazing. It's amazing. Now, concept, I also gave it a 10 because Metal Gear Solid, it started its own genre, really. I mean, it's not even a concept anymore. It's Metal Gear Solid. It's its own thing now. It's people follow it like a fucking religion, dude. Metal Gear Solid it's amazing. It's amazing. That's all I gotta say. It's amazing. Now, this is where I was talking about the one and only flaw that Metal Gear Solid 5 might have, because it hasn't been confirmed. Nothing's been confirmed. So I can't stand out here and say that it's not gonna have this, it's not gonna have that, because I don't know. I have no inside scoop. I'm just basing this off of what I've seen from gameplay demos and trailers and stuff like that, and the track record that Metal Gear Solid has. Now, with all that being said, it scored a 1 out of 10 in replay value because, I mean, let's be real. No Metal Gear Solid ever has had any replay value whatsoever. Not even it wasn't even hinted. It wasn't even a multiplayer. It was nothing. Since they implemented the open world thing, I had to hope a little bit, I guess, and I give it a 1 to see. I mean, to remind me that there's still hope. I mean, there's still hope that there could be replay value in this game, and if it gets replay value, then I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be game of the year. It's that simple. This game is incredible. So coming in at number 2, we got Metal Gear Solid 5, man. This scored a 31 out of 40. This is probably the second highest. This is the second highest I've ranked a game, but the score was greatly impacted by replay value. I mean, it would have easily taken the number 1 spot had the replay value have been more higher. If it would have been something accountable. I mean, it's a 1. I mean, I could have easily given a 0. I have a feeling there's not gonna be no replay value whatsoever. But so yeah, it's like I said, it's 31 out of 40 for score. Coming in at number 2, great game. This is definitely a game that I'm looking forward to do gameplay, walkthroughs, let's play, all that, the whole kit and caboodle, man. I'm talking about going the all 9 yards on this game, man. This is definitely one of the first games I'm gonna try to pick up when I get my next gen console, if it's out when I get it, and if it's not, then it's probably one of the first games I pre-order. It's definitely worth it. And with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to number 1.
I'm here to get you out.
Snake.
What took you so long?
Pride feeds that blackened heart, and thirst must be quenched through hypocrisy. Cleansing flames is the only way to repent. Renounce what made that will. Would you speak that to me? With your prayer so still, it makes me believe that sins never die. Can't watch the blood on her hands. Let the world fill us all. It's just means to an end. Our salvation lies in mercy beyond the truth. Let me suffer in my heart, I just know that there's no end to light of the dawn in his eyes.
The world calls for wet work, and we answer. No greater good. No just cause. Cypher sent us to hell, but we're going even deeper.
Now, as an MMO lover myself, The Elder Scrolls Online took the #1 spot easily for me. It wasn't the only deciding factor. Along with the MMO, it also had a unique storyline, massive open world, and a huge multiplayer environment. It was easy to see why I put this game at #1. Elder Scrolls Online brings the MMO experience from the PC and places it in your living room. Anyone who's played Skyrim can easily see why I put this game at #1, receiving a 10 for gameplay and only a 6 for presentation. The reason I gave it a 6 for presentation is that being a next-gen console release, the graphics really didn't satisfy my expectations. Along with the low-scoring graphics, it also received a 6 for concept. This concept has been used over and over with such titles as WoW, League of Legends, and the list goes on. Everybody that's been releasing an MMO recently has been going to this concept. It's a common concept, thus Elder Scrolls Online doesn't receive originality points in my book. Now, with all that being said, the replay value is what really kept this game in the competition, scoring a perfect 10 for replay value. Just coming off of experience from playing Skyrim and other Bethesda games, it's only common sense that Bethesda would keep their replay value as it was before and incorporate it into Elder Scrolls Online. Now, with all that put into consideration, Elder Scrolls Online scored a 32 out of 40 with me, putting it at #1 on the list. Now, that was my top 5. Tell me what you think about my top 5. Did I miss anything? Did I score anything wrong? Is there a game out there that you thought was better than that I should have put on the top 5 list? And guys, I just want to apologize in advance. I've been away from my house for a couple weeks now, and I haven't been able to release any videos, but I'm back now, and I guess I'm better than ever now. I took an After Effects course, and as you can see in the beginning of the video, I put my new skills to the test, and I created the intro for this, and a couple of little effects during the video. Tell me what you guys think about that. Was it something that you guys liked? Should I keep, incorporating it into my videos? And so on and so forth. I also got big plans for the summer. I got a new series that I want to start. It's called Jihad. And for anybody that doesn't know what Jihad means or anything of that sort, or, if you're like, what the heck is Jihad? Why would you ever use Jihad? Oh, what the heck? Jihad is Islam or Jewish for holy war. And I don't want to really say too much about the series, so I'm just going to leave you guys with that. But yeah, this was my top 5 of games that were announced at E3. Tell me what you guys think. Was I good at what I did? This is the first time I've ever had to rate anything in general, let alone games. and work off a script. I actually had to kind of write, like, it wasn't a script, but, you know, 'cause I had to write notes down. Usually when I make videos, I just get on the mic and say whatever comes to mind. That's why I stutter a lot, because I'm usually thinking and trying to play. But this was the first time I've ever had to go off a notes or scripts or anything of the sort. So tell me what you guys think about that. I mean, just leave some feedback. And again, I just want to apologize in advance for not being able to release videos these past couple weeks. And I really hope you guys enjoy this. And as always, you know, Ranger Rick 978 out. Now, I almost forgot, before I leave, to give an honorable mention to Kingdom Hearts 3. If there would have been more detail, you know, on the trailer and gameplay and the demo that they showed at E3, or whatever you want to call it, that they showed on E3, it probably would have made my list. But I mean, it only really shows Sora riding a wave of Heartless and then getting ready to attack, and then it said it was in development. So I really didn't get that much information from that demo or trailer or whatever you want to call it to be able to consider it as a candidate for the top 5 list. Now, with that being said, I just want to give an honorable mention to Kingdom Hearts 3. Had there been more information, had the trailer been more in depth, it probably would have made my list. Me as a kid growing up, I used to play Kingdom Hearts a lot, so I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. And with that being said, I'm gonna leave you with that, all right? And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully this is not the first and last one. I hope this is gonna be a lot more top 5s or just videos in general where I'm rating and discussing and giving reviews and stuff like that in my channel. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Comment in the comment section below. Leave a like if you liked the video. And Ranger Rick 978 out.